Imagine a world where the loudest voices dominate every conversation, where extroverted charisma is mistaken for true strength, and where the quiet man in the corner is dismissed as weak or irrelevant. But what if I told you that this quiet man, the one who observes more than he speaks, the one who chooses his words, like a warrior, selects his weapons, is the real force to be reckoned with? What if silence isn't a sign of weakness, but the ultimate expression of power? Welcome to the essence of quiet power, the strength of the Stoic man who rules long after the noise fades away. Gentlemen, if you're watching this, you're likely a man who's felt the weight of society's expectations. In a culture obsessed with instant gratification, viral outbursts, and endless self-promotion, being quiet and rational can feel like a curse. You're told to speak up, to network aggressively, to dominate the room if you want to succeed in business, relationships, or life. But deep down, you know there's more to it. You've seen the flashy talkers rise quickly, only to crash just as fast when their words prove empty. You've witnessed the quiet ones, the thinkers, the planners, the enduring forces who build empires that last generations. This video is for you. It's about reclaiming your innate power through Stoicism, the ancient philosophy that turns silence into a superpower. Let's start with the title: Strong, Silent, Stoic. Why quiet men rule long after the noise fades. This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a blueprint for modern masculinity. In today's chaotic world, noise is everywhere. Social media feeds scream for attention. Politicians shout empty promises, and influencers peddle superficial success. But noise is fleeting. It echoes for a moment, and then vanishes, leaving nothing but echoes of regret. Quiet power, on the other hand, is the deep current beneath the surface, the kind of strength that doesn't need validation from the crowd. It's the power of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, who ruled an empire not through bombast, but through reasoned reflection. It's the resilience of Epictetus, the former slave who taught freedom through inner control. These men weren't loud, they were profound. And in this video, we'll explore how you can harness that same quiet power to become unbreakable in a noisy world. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Are quiet, rational men truly less attractive? Society would have you believe so. Think about the archetypes pushed in movies, ads, and dating apps. The charming extrovert who cracks jokes, commands attention, and sweeps everyone off their feet. He's the life of the party, the deal closer. The alpha male archetype. But is that real attraction, or just superficial allure? In reality, the quiet man exudes a different kind of magnetism. He's the one women confide in because he listens without judgment. He's the leader colleagues respect because his words carry weight, not volume. He's the partner who provides stability in storms, not just excitement in calm waters. Studies in psychology back this up. Introverted traits like thoughtfulness and reliability often lead to deeper, longer-lasting relationships and professional success. Yet, society mislabels this as boring or unassertive. Why? Because noise is easy to notice, but true power is subtle. Stoicism teaches us that attraction isn't about being seen, it's about being felt. When you embody quiet power, you become the man others gravitate toward, not because you demand it, but because your presence commands it. Now, consider how society misjudges the silent ones. In a hyper-connected era, extroversion is glorified as the key to happiness and achievement. Books like How to Win Friends and Influence People emphasize talking your way to the top, while introverts are often sidelined as antisocial or lacking confidence, but this is a grave error. History is littered with quiet giants who shaped the world. Albert Einstein revolutionized physics through solitary contemplation. Warren Buffett built his fortune by quietly analyzing markets while others chased trends. Even in warfare, generals like Dwight D. Eisenhower won through strategic silence rather than bravado. Society's bias stems from fear, the fear of the unknown. A loud person is predictable, a quiet one is mysterious, unpredictable, and thus formidable in his potential. Stoicism flips this script. It reminds us that true judgment comes from within, not from the crowd. As Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Apply this to your voice. Speak not to fill the air, but to add value. In doing so, you become silent, yet formidable. The man whose quiet resolve commands more respect than any shout. Why does this matter now? In 2025, the world is noisier than ever, with AI amplifying voices, social algorithms rewarding outrage, and economic uncertainty demanding real resilience. Quiet power isn't optional, it's essential. Stoicism equips you to navigate this chaos. It teaches dichotomy of control. Focus on what you can influence: your thoughts, actions, and responses while letting the noise pass. Imagine applying this daily. In a heated argument, you stay calm, diffusing tension with rationality. At work, you observe trends quietly, making moves that outlast impulsive competitors. In relationships, your steady presence builds trust that flashy charm can't match. This is the path to ruling long after the noise fades, to leaving a legacy of strength, not echoes. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Stoicism transforms you into that silent force. We'll dive into societal misconceptions, unpack the mechanics of quiet power, and draw lessons from icons like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus. But more importantly, you'll walk away with actionable steps to cultivate this in your life. So, if you're ready to embrace the power of silence, to become strong, silent, and stoic, hit that like button, subscribe for more stoic wisdom, and let's begin the journey. Remember, the quiet man doesn't just survive the storm, he becomes it. Are quiet, rational men truly less attractive? Let's dive deeper into the heart of the matter. Brothers, in a world that equates volume with value, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that quiet, rational men are somehow less attractive, less desirable in the eyes of women, less commanding in the boardroom, less influential among peers. But is this the truth, or just another illusion peddled by a society addicted to spectacle? Stoicism, the timeless philosophy of warriors and emperors, begs to differ. It teaches us that true attraction isn't born from noise or flash. It's forged in the fires of inner strength, deliberate thought, and unshakable resolve. Today, we're dismantling this myth piece by piece, revealing why the quiet man isn't just attractive, he's magnetic in ways the loud ones can only dream of. And by the end, you'll see how embracing quiet power through Stoic principles can transform you into the man who draws others in without ever raising your voice. First, let's confront the stereotype head-on. You've heard it before. He's too quiet, must be boring. Or, why doesn't he speak up? He lacks confidence. In dating apps, job interviews, or social gatherings, the extroverted guy, the one with the quick wit, the endless stories, the booming laugh seems to steal the show. He's the peacock strutting his feathers, while the quiet man is labeled as the wallflower. But let's pause and apply a Stoic lens here. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Attraction isn't about arguing your case with words, it's about embodying virtue through actions. The quiet man, guided by reason, doesn't waste energy on superficial displays. Instead, he observes, he listens, he acts with precision. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And wisdom, my friends, is the ultimate aphrodisiac. Think about it in real-world terms. In relationships, what do women truly seek in the long run? Sure, the charming talker might spark initial interest with his banter. But when life throws curveballs, financial stress, emotional turmoil, or everyday chaos, who do they turn to? The man who remains steady, who thinks before he speaks, who offers solutions rooted in logic rather than impulse. Studies from psychology journals, like those in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, show that traits like emotional stability and dependability, hallmarks of the rational mind, predict stronger, more satisfying partnerships over time. The quiet man exudes this naturally. He's not swayed by fleeting emotions. He's anchored in Stoic discipline. Epictetus, the slave-turned philosopher, reminds us, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. When you live rationally, your quiet presence becomes a beacon of reliability. Women aren't attracted to noise. They're drawn to the man who can weather the storm without flinching. But let's not stop at romance. Extend this to your career. In the corporate arena, the loud networker might land the quick promotion through schmoozing, but the rational thinker builds empires. Take Elon Musk as a modern example, often described as introspective and deliberate, not overly verbose in casual settings. He observes markets, analyzes data, and strikes with calculated precision. Or consider historical figures like Abraham Lincoln, a man of few words in social circles, but profound impact through thoughtful leadership. Society misjudges these men as less attractive because it confuses charisma with competence. Stoicism counters this by emphasizing the dichotomy of control. You can't control how others perceive your silence, but you can control the substance behind it. Focus on what matters, honing your skills, making ethical decisions, delivering results, and attraction follows. People gravitate toward quiet competence because it's rare in a world of empty promises. Now, why does this misconception persist? It's rooted in evolutionary psychology mixed with modern media distortion. Back in tribal days, the loud leader signaled dominance through volume, ensuring survival. But in today's knowledge economy, survival demands depth, not decibel. Media amplifies the myth. Movies portray the hero as the quippy action star, rarely the contemplative strategist. Social platforms reward viral rants over reasoned discourse. As a result, quiet men internalize doubt, wondering if they're missing out. But Stoicism offers liberation. Seneca, another Stoic sage, advised, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. Learn to see through the illusion. Your rational mind isn't a flaw, it's your edge. By speaking less, you listen more, gathering insights that others miss. This builds an aura of mystery and authority, the silent but deadly vibe that commands respect without effort. Let's make this actionable. How can you, as a Kietman, amplify your attractiveness through Stoic practices? Start with self-mastery. Every morning, practice the Stoic exercise of premeditatio malorum, anticipating challenges rationally. This trains your mind to respond thoughtfully, not reactively. In conversations, apply the rule of Epictetus. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. When you do speak, let it be with purpose, concise, insightful, rooted in truth. Watch how this shifts dynamics. In a date, instead of filling silence with fluff, ask probing questions and truly listen. Your attentiveness becomes irresistible. At work, during meetings, observe the room quietly. Then deliver a single, game-changing insight. Colleagues will see you as the wise oracle, not the overlooked introvert. But attraction goes beyond perception. It's about self-perception too. Many quiet men sabotage themselves by buying into the myth, leading to unnecessary anxiety. Stoicism combats this with amor fati, love of fate. Embrace your natural disposition as a gift. You're not less attractive. You're selectively attractive to those who value substance over show. Remember the story of Diogenes the Cynic, a Stoic precursor, who lived simply and spoke sparingly, yet drew crowds with his unfiltered wisdom. Or closer to home, think of introverted icons like Bill Gates, whose quiet rationality built Microsoft into a titan. These men didn't change to fit society's mold. They molded society around their strengths. Of course, this doesn't mean total silence. Stoicism isn't about suppression, it's about balance. Speak when it serves virtue, defend justice, share knowledge, build connections, but do so rationally, without attachment to outcomes. As Aurelius noted, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your quiet nature, fortified by this mindset, becomes a superpower. It filters out superficial relationships, attracting allies who appreciate depth. In fitness, the quiet man who consistently trains without fanfare builds a physique that speaks for itself. In finance, the rational investor who quietly compounds wealth outlasts the boastful trader. Brothers, if you've ever felt diminished by your quiet demeanor, let this be your wake-up call. You're not less attractive, you're profoundly so, in ways that endure. The noisemakers fade, the Stoic endures. By integrating quiet power into your life, you become the man others aspire to be. Strong in silence, rational in chaos, irresistible in authenticity. This isn't theory, it's transformation. Apply it today. Observe one interaction where you'd normally stay silent, and instead, contribute with deliberate wisdom. Feel the shift. See how heads turn not to your volume, but to your value. As we move forward, we'll explore how society systematically undervalues the silent ones, and why this bias is your opportunity to rise above. But for now, internalize this. Rational men aren't just attractive, they're essential. In a world drowning in noise, your silence is the lifeline. Embrace it, Stoic warrior, and watch as true power unfolds. How society misjudges the silent ones. Now that we've shattered the myth that quiet, rational men are less attractive, let's turn our gaze to the broader battlefield, society itself. How does the world around us systematically undervalue the silent ones, labeling them as outliers in a symphony of noise? In this era of constant chatter, from endless Zoom calls to viral TikToks, extroversion is crowned king, while the thoughtful introvert is relegated to the shadows. But Stoicism, the philosophy of unbreakable resolve, exposes this judgment for what it truly is, a shallow illusion that crumbles under scrutiny. Brothers, if you've ever felt sidelined for your measured words or deliberate pace, this section is your vindication. We'll unpack the mechanisms of societal bias, reveal its long-term consequences, and arm you with Stoic tools to rise above it. By embracing quiet power, you'll not only defy the misjudgment, but turn it into your greatest advantage, the silent force that outlasts the clamor. Society's misjudgment begins with a fundamental flaw, equating visibility with virtue. In the modern arena, success is often measured by how loudly you broadcast yourself. Think about it. The entrepreneur who posts daily vlogs about his hustle gets the followers, the funding, the fame. The politician who dominates debates with sound bites wins the votes, even in education. The student who participates vocally earns praise, while the quiet absorber of knowledge is overlooked. This bias isn't new. It's amplified by technology. Social media algorithms favor engagement, likes, shares, comments, rewarding the extroverted outburst over the introspective insight. As a result, quiet men are misjudged as passive, unengaged, or even incompetent. But Stoicism challenges this head-on. Epictetus, who endured slavery with unyielding calm, taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Society's judgment is an external event beyond your control. Your reaction, that's where quiet power ignites. Instead of conforming, use it as fuel to cultivate inner excellence. Let's dissect the extrovert-introvert divide through a Stoic prism. Extroverts are celebrated for their energy, their ability to rally crowds and spark immediate action. They're the spark plugs of society, igniting quick wins and social bonds. Introverts, or the silent ones, draw energy from within, preferring depth over breadth. They're the engines steady, efficient, built for the long haul. Yet, society tips the scales unfairly. Books like Susan Cain's Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking, highlight how Western culture, especially in America, idolizes the extrovert ideal, the bold salesman, the charismatic leader. This leads to tangible disadvantages. Quiet individuals are passed over for promotions, underestimated in negotiations, and even face bias in courtrooms where juries favor expressive witnesses. But here's the Stoic truth. This misjudgment reveals more about society's fragility than your own. As Marcus Aurelius reflected, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Extroverts may win the sprint, but Stoic silence wins the marathon. Your rational mind, unclouded by the need for constant validation, allows for clear decisions, deeper strategies, and enduring legacies. The consequences of this bias are profound and far-reaching. On a personal level, it breeds self-doubt. Quiet men internalize the narrative, suppressing their natural strengths to mimic the loud. This leads to burnout forcing. Extroversion drains your reserves, leaving you hollow. In relationships, it fosters mismatch. The silent partner is seen as distant, straining bonds that could thrive on mutual depth. Professionally, it stifles innovation. History proves this. Many groundbreaking inventions, from the theory of relativity to the personal computer, came from quiet thinkers like Einstein and Steve Wozniak, not the spotlight seekers. Societally, the overemphasis on noise drowns out wisdom, leading to impulsive policies, echo chamber cultures, and a loss of nuance. In 2025, with AI amplifying misinformation and social divides widening, this bias is more dangerous than ever. Stoicism offers the antidote: virtue ethics. Focus on arete, excellence in your actions, regardless of applause. Senetza vornt. True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. By judging yourself by internal standards, you free yourself from society's flawed scorecard. But why does society cling to this misjudgment? It's a mix of fear and convenience. The silent man is enigmatic. He doesn't reveal his hand easily. making him unpredictable. In a world craving certainty, this unnerves the masses. Loudness is comforting. It's transparent, even if superficial. Convenience plays in too. It's easier to assess someone who broadcasts than one who contemplates. Media perpetuates it, glorifying extroverted heroes in films like The Wolf of Wall Street, where bravado trumps integrity. Yet, Stoicism flips the script. It teaches that true power lies in ataraxia, tranquility amid chaos. The silent one, unperturbed by judgment, becomes silent, yet formidable. Imagine a boardroom where the loud dominate, but your single, reasoned intervention shifts the tide. That's the Stoic edge. Impact through substance, not spectacle. To apply this in your life, start with awareness. Recognize the bias without resentment. Stoicism demands equanimity. Next, practice prosousia, mindful attention. In social settings, observe how others react to silence. Use it strategically. Let the noise reveal weaknesses. Then strike with precision. For instance, in a debate, wait until emotions peak. Then deliver a calm, logical counterpoint. People will remember your words because they're rare and resonant. In your career, build alliances, quietly network through value, not volume. Offer help without fanfare, and watch loyalty grow. Relationships, cultivate depth. Share thoughts sparingly but profoundly, creating bonds that withstand time. Draw from Stoic exercises like journaling. Each evening, reflect on instances of misjudgment and how you responded with virtue. This builds resilience, turning societal slights into stepping stones. Consider real-world examples to inspire. Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, is notoriously reserved in public, yet his rational insights have amassed billions. He embodies Stoic frugality and focus, outlasting flashy investors. Or Keanu Reeves, often described as stoic and introspective, whose quiet demeanor has earned him universal respect amid Hollywood's excess. These men aren't misjudged forever. Their quiet power eventually silences the critics. Historically, the Stoics themselves faced bias. Epictetus was dismissed as a cripple, Aurelius as a brooding emperor, yet their teachings endure millennia later. In contrast, the noisy tyrants like Nero faded into infamy. This proves the long game. Society's misjudgment is temporary. Stoic strength is eternal. Brothers, if society has ever made you question your worth for being silent, reclaim your narrative now. This bias isn't a barrier. It's an opportunity to differentiate yourself. By integrating Stoic principles, you become the unmovable rock in a sea of waves. The world may undervalue you today, but tomorrow, when the noise fades, your quiet power will rule. Act on it. Today, in one interaction, embrace silence deliberately. Let others fill the void. Then respond with wisdom. Feel the power shift. See how misjudgment becomes your ally. As we press on, we'll uncover why Stoicism specifically equips you to become that silent yet formidable force, the quiet terror that commands without command. But for now, stand tall in your quietude. Society's error is not your burden, it's your forge. Why Stoicism turns you into the silent force to be reckoned with. We've exposed society's blind spots and reclaimed the allure of the quiet man. Now, let's forge ahead into the core of transformation. Why does Stoicism, this ancient forge of the soul, turn you into the silent force that others fear and admire? Silent, yet terrifying, not in aggression, but in unyielding presence. This isn't about intimidation through threats. It's about commanding respect through mastery of self. In a world where noise signals weakness, desperate pleas for attention, Stoicism equips you with the tools to wield silence as a weapon, rationality as a shield, and resilience as your armor. Brothers, if you're ready to evolve from overlooked observer to unbreakable pillar, this is where the real work begins. We'll break down the Stoic mechanisms that build quiet power, illustrate them with timeless principles, and provide actionable steps to integrate them into your modern life. By the end, you'll not only understand this power, you'll feel it stirring within, ready to rule long after the echoes die. At its essence, Stoicism transforms silence into power by teaching the art of control. The first pillar is the dichotomy of control, a cornerstone from Epictetus. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. In the cacophony of daily life, the loud man reacts to everything: insults, setbacks, temptations, wasting energy on the uncontrollable. He shouts to assert dominance, but it's a facade, crumbling under pressure. The Stoic man, however, discerns wisely. He focuses solely on his judgments, actions, and responses. Silence becomes his default, because he doesn't expend words on the futile. Imagine a heated argument at work. The noisy colleague erupts, defending ego with volume. You, Stoic warrior, pause, assess if it's within your control, then respond with measured precision, or not at all. This silence isn't retreat, it's strategy. It unnerves opponents, forcing them to reveal more while you conserve strength. Over time, this builds an aura of invincibility. People sense you can't be rattled, making you formidable in your predictability, always composed, always ahead. But control alone isn't enough. Stoicism layers it with rational living, turning quiet reflection into lethal insight. Marcus Aurelius urged, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The silent Stoic dyes his soul in reason, not emotion. In today's impulse-driven society where social media triggers outrage and consumerism fuels desire, the rational mind is rare, hence powerful. By practicing logos logic over passion, you observe the world without distortion. Silence facilitates this. Fewer words mean more internal dialogue. Sharpening your analysis. Consider investing. The loud trader boasts about hot tips, chasing trends noisily. The Stoic investor sits quietly, studying data, ignoring hype. His decisions, rooted in reason, yield compounding returns that outlast market frenzy applied to relationships. This rationality makes you formidable. When conflicts arise, you don't lash out, you dissect the issue logically, offering solutions that cut through drama. Women respect this. It's the quiet assurance that says, I see clearly, I act wisely. This silent strength becomes formidable to manipulators who thrive on emotional chaos. You refuse to engage. Resilience, the third pillar, cements your status as the enduring force. Stoicism views adversity not as enemy, but as trainer. Seneca proclameth, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does. The body, the silent man, forged in this fire, doesn't complain or broadcast suffering. He endures quietly, emerging stronger. Noise often masks fragility. The loud complainer seeks sympathy to avoid growth. But you, embracing voluntary discomfort like the Stoics' cold showers or fasting, build unbreakable fortitude. In fitness, the Stoic trains silently, pushing limits without gym selfies. His body transforms into a testament of discipline, intimidating through sheer consistency. In business, when deals collapse, The noisy entrepreneur panics publicly, eroding trust. You pivot rationally, silently rebuilding. This resilience terrifies competitors. They see you rise repeatedly, undeterred. It's the power of the phoenix, burned but reborn, silent in victory. How does this alchemy happen? Stoicism provides practical disciplines to cultivate these traits. Start with morning meditation. A ritual Aurelius cherished. Rise early. Reflect on the day ahead. What challenges might arise? How will you respond with control, reason, and resilience? This quiet preparation sets your tone silence as proactive power throughout the day. Practice apatheia, not apathy, but freedom from destructive passions. When anger surges, pause silently. Label it as a judgment and choose reason. In conversations, employ the Stoic filter. Is this necessary? True. Beneficial? If not, remain silent. This selectivity makes your words potent. People hang on them, fearing the weight they carry. Evening review seals it. Journal quietly, assessing actions against virtues. What did you control? Where did reason prevail? This cycle turns silence from habit into superpower. Let's ground this in modern application. Picture a young professional in Silicon Valley, bombarded by startup hype. The extroverts network loudly, pitching ideas frantically. You, stoic and silent, listen, analyze, then launch a venture with calculated risks. Your quiet power draws investors not through charisma, but proven rationality. Or, in dating, apps favor witty bios, but you attract depth by being selectively responsive. Dates become profound exchanges, building connections that scare off the superficial. In family crises, when emotions run high, your silent strength offering logical support without drama becomes the anchor everyone clings to. Even in health battles, like overcoming addiction, Stoicism's resilience shines. Endure withdrawal quietly, focusing on controllable habits, emerging as the man who conquered himself, truly formidable in self-mastery. This transformation isn't abstract. It's echoed in icons who embodied it. Think of modern Stoics like Jocko Willink, the Navy SEAL, whose mantra "discipline equals freedom" is delivered with stoic brevity. He speaks little, acts much, commanding respect through silent intensity. Or Tim Ferriss, who optimizes life rationally, sharing insights sparingly but impactfully. These men aren't loud leaders, they're silent forces, reshaping industries. Stoicism makes you like them, not feared for harm, but for your potential to excel where others falter. Of course, challenges arise. Society may test your silence, provoking reactions. Here, Stoicism's amor fati, love of fate, empowers. Embrace provocations as opportunities to practice. If mocked for quietness, respond internally. This is not up to me, my virtue is. Over time, this builds an impenetrable shell. Remember, the formidable nature isn't about scaring others, it's about inspiring awe. People fear what they can't break, and admire what endures. Brothers, Stoicism doesn't just help, it revolutionizes. It takes your natural quietude and weaponizes it with control, reason, and resilience. You become the silent storm, calm on the surface, devastating in depth, no longer misjudged. You rule subtly, your presence lingering long after words fade. Apply it now. Choose one area: work, relationships, self-improvement, and infuse it with stoic silence. Observe, reason, endure. Feel the power build. Watch as others sense it, stepping back in respect. As we approach the legends who lived this, prepare to draw from Marcus and Epictetus. But for this moment, own your quiet power. You are the force to be reckoned with. Strong, silent, stoic, Stoic icons. Lessons from Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus. With the foundations of quiet power laid bare, its allure, society's blind spots, and Stoicism's transformative mechanics, it's time to draw wisdom from the masters themselves. These aren't distant relics. They're living blueprints for the modern man. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who ruled Rome amid chaos, and Epictetus, the enslaved teacher who embodied freedom through mind alone. These Stoic icons exemplify the silent yet formidable force we've been building toward. Their lives weren't easy. They were crucibles of adversity, where silence forged unbreakable strength. Brothers, as we delve into their stories, tricks and lessons, see yourself in their struggles. Apply their teachings today, and you'll not only honor their legacy, but become a quiet ruler in your own right. Let's journey back to ancient Rome, extracting timeless gold to fuel your Stoic fire in 2025 and beyond. First, let's meet Marcus Aurelius, the man who wore the crown of the world, yet bowed to the throne of reason. Born in 121 AD into Roman nobility, Marcus could have indulged in luxury, power, and excess, the noise of empire. Instead, he chose the path of quiet power, ascending to emperor in 161 AD during one of Rome's most turbulent eras. Plagues ravaged the population, barbarian invasions threatened borders, and internal betrayals simmered. Amid this storm, Marcus didn't shout decrees or revel in conquests. He reflected silently, journaling his thoughts in what became meditations, a private diary never meant for publication, yet one of history's greatest guides to Stoic living. Imagine leading millions. While grappling with personal loss, his wife and several children died young, yet maintaining composure. Marcus's silence wasn't absence. It was presence, a deliberate choice to focus inward amid external roar. What makes Marcus a Stoic icon? His emphasis on virtue as the sole good. He wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This trich Dern strikes at the heart of quiet power. Happiness isn't in acclaim or wealth noise of the masses, but in rational thought. For the modern man, apply this during career setbacks. In a volatile job market where layoffs loom and AI disrupts industries, don't rant on social media or blame externals. Like Marcus on the battlefield, journaling during the Marcomannic Wars, pause silently, reflect. What can I control? My effort, my ethics, my growth. This turns silence into strategy, quietly upskilling, networking with purpose, emerging stronger. Marcus also taught impermanence. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. In relationships, when betrayal hits, don't explode in anger. Embrace memento mori, remember death, and respond rationally. Your quiet resolve intimidates the disloyal, drawing true allies who value depth. Marcus's life lesson in resilience is profound. Despite chronic health issues and endless campaigns, he endured without complaint. He advised, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." This is the formidable nature of Stoicism. Adversity doesn't break you, it refines you. Today, in fitness journeys or financial hardships, channel Marcus. Train silently through pain. Budget rationally amid inflation. Building an empire of self that outlasts economic noise. His reign ended in 180 AD, but his quiet power endures. inspiring leaders like Theodore Roosevelt, who carried meditations into battle. You, too, can rule your domain, family, career, or community by adopting his silent discipline. Start small. Tonight, journal 3 things within your control, letting Marcus's words guide you to inner sovereignty. Now, shift to Epictetus, the stark contrast yet perfect complement to Marcus. Born around 50 AD as a slave in Hierapolis, Epictetus had every reason to be bitter, loud, rebellious. Lame from a master's cruel twist of his leg, he could have cursed fate. Instead, he embodied Stoic freedom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Freed eventually, he became a teacher in Rome, exiled by Emperor Domitian in 93 AD, founding a school in Greece where he lectured on philosophy. Unlike Marcus's writings, Epictetus's teachings were recorded by student Arrian in discourses and Enchiridion manuals of practical Stoicism. His silence wasn't royal restraint but enslaved wisdom, speaking only what served virtue, listening to life's lessons. Epictetus's core teaching, the dichotomy of control, distil. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. This liberates the quiet man from societal chains. In 2025, amid cancel culture and online outrage, don't engage the trolls noisily, like Epictetus, who viewed his lameness as irrelevant. Is it the leg you pity? No, it's the soul. Focus on your judgments. A job rejection, not a catastrophe, but an opportunity to refine skills quietly. This mindset makes you formidable, unshaken by externals. You intimidate those enslaved to opinions. Epictetus also stressed role-playing. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. In parenting or leadership, apply this. When plans falter, kids rebel, teams underperform. Don't command loudly, guide silently with example, accepting what's given, adapting rationally. Your calm becomes terrifying to chaos lovers, establishing order through presence. Résilience defined Epictetus. As a slave, he endured torture without breaking. He quipped, "If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses, but answer, he was ignorant of my other faults, else he would certainly have mentioned them too." This humor-laced stoicism disarms critics. Modern application. In toxic workplaces or strained marriages, don't retaliate verbally. Practice Epictetus's indifference to insults, silently improve. Letting actions speak. This builds an aura of invulnerability, drawing respect. His school attracted all classes, proving quiet power's universality. Even emperors like Marcus studied his ideas, showing how a slave's silence outshone royal noise. Epictetus died around 135 AD, legacy intact. Freedom isn't physical, it's mental. For you, battling addictions or doubts, invoke him. Meditate quietly. What's in my control? Break chains internally, emerging free. Comparing these icons amplifies their lessons. Marcus, the privileged emperor, and Epictetus, the oppressed slave, converged on Stoic truths. Control your mind. Live rationally. Endure virtuously. Both wielded silence as power. Marcus in governance, Epictetus in teaching. In today's polarized world, blend them. Use Marcus's reflection for strategy, Epictetus's acceptance for peace. Facing inequality or injustice, don't protest noisily without purpose. Act stoically, educate quietly, lead by example. effect change enduringly. Their combined wisdom turns you into the silent force, respected, resilient, ruling subtly. Brothers, these Stoic icons aren't idols to worship, but mirrors to reflect. Marcus and Epictetus lived quiet power, amid empires crumbling and personal torments. You, in your battles, corporate ladders, family dynamics, self-doubt can do the same. Apply one lesson today. From Marcus, journal rationally. From Epictetus, accept controllables silently. Watch your presence grow formidable, not in fear, but in awe-inspiring strength. Their lives prove, Noise fade, stoic silence reigns éternel. Honor them by becoming the next icon in your story. We've journeyed far, brothers, from dismantling the myths that quiet men lack appeal, to exposing society's flawed judgments, uncovering Stoicism's mechanics of silent strength, and drawing fire from the lives of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus. Now, as the echoes of this exploration fade, let's crystallize the essence of quiet power, the unyielding force of the strong, silent, stoic man who rules not through noise, but through enduring resolve. In a world drowning in temporary clamor, social media storms, fleeting trends, and empty boasts, you've seen how silence, rationality, and resilience forge a legacy that outlasts it all. This isn't just philosophy, it's your blueprint for mastery in 2025 and beyond. Embrace it, and become the man who doesn't just survive the chaos, he shapes it. Recall the core truths we've unearthed. Quiet, rational men aren't less attractive, they're profoundly so, drawing others with depth rather than dazzle. Society misjudges the silent ones, glorifying extroversion while ignoring the quiet giants who build lasting empires. But Stoicism reverses this. It transforms you into a silent yet formidable force through self-control, logical precision, and unbreakable endurance. Marcus Aurelius showed us how to rule an empire with inward reflection, turning personal journals into universal wisdom. Epictetus, from chains to enlightenment, proved that true freedom lies in the mind, not circumstances. These icons didn't conquer with volume, they dominated with virtue. Their lives echo in yours. In every challenge, choose silence as your ally, reason as your guide, and stoic grit as your weapon. Why does this matter now? More than ever, the noise is amplifying. Economic uncertainties loom, relationships fracture under digital distractions, and personal doubts assail from all sides. Yet, quiet power equips you to thrive. It's the antidote to burnout, the shield against manipulation, the foundation for authentic success. Imagine a life where you no longer chase validation, you command it subtly. In your career, observe trends quietly. Strike with calculated moves, outpacing the impulsive. In love, listen deeply, respond wisely, building bonds that endure storms. In self-growth, endure discomfort silently, emerging forged like steel. This power isn't reserved for emperors or philosophers. It's yours, waiting in the stillness you've always possessed. Stoicism isn't about suppression, it's about elevation, lifting you above the fray to rule your fate. But knowledge alone won't suffice. Stoicisme demands action. Start today. Warrior. Begin with a simple Stoic ritual. Rise at dawn. Meditate on the dichotomy of control. What's yours to shape? What's not? Throughout the day, practice deliberate. Silence. In conversations, speak only to add value. When adversity strikes a setback at work, a conflict at home, pause. Reflect rationally. Respond with virtue. Evening comes. Journal, like Marcus. What did I endure? How did I grow? Make this your discipline, and watch the transformation unfold. You'll feel the shift, others sensing your unshakable core, stepping back in respect, gravitating in admiration. You're no longer the quiet observer. You're the silent force, strong, silent, stoic, ruling long after the noise fades. To the man watching this, perhaps feeling the weight of a noisy world on your shoulders, you are not alone. Countless before you, from ancient Stoics to modern Titans, have walked this path. They've proven that quiet power isn't weakness, it's supremacy. It's the power to lead without fanfare, love without drama, achieve without ego. In embracing it, you honor your true self, the rational thinker, the resilient endurer, the profound presence. Let this video be your turning point. Hit subscribe for more Stoic fuel, share it with a brother in need, and comment below. What's one Stoic practice you'll adopt today? Your journey starts now. Remember, the world will always clamor for attention, but you, Stoic man, need none. Your silence speaks volumes, your actions echo eternally. Go forth, embody quiet power, and claim the throne that's always been yours. The noise will fade, your rule will endure. Be strong, be silent, be stoic.